about that policy myself. One of the themes that was coming out regarding the board and staff, as many of you saw, the board was rated very low in the survey regarding how staff viewed us and our interactions. And I thought this might be one thing that we could do to take a look at this policy. When I reviewed the ones from other districts, some were very similar to this one, and others went more to board of conduct and ethics for the board, and it had much more of, like I said, referred to it as open language. So I'd like to ask if we would be able to suspend this policy while we look at development of something that may be more reflective of open communication. And I'd be happy to share any of the sample policies I got from WGSD.
I would agree with that. I think everything we learned, I lost my mic again. I think everything we learned from that survey is that there is a real breakdown in communication. And I think, to me, nothing points more at that, at least as far as what's defined interaction is that policy. And I think looking at that and adjusting it would make a lot of sense. Send a strong message.
I agree with that 100%. I mean, just things that I was thinking about. I mean, I didn't even, things that I would take for granted that people walk into school and talk to people as a board member and having to get permission to do that, especially the things that came out of that. It just, I would have been in violation and not knowing that, because that just doesn't make sense to me right now. Right.
And I think there definitely have to be things of alerting the principal so that, if, you know, we do want to touch base with the teacher and things, those things get scheduled, but I think that there may be a friendlier way to word that so that it can be in collaboration with things more than maybe top down from that policy. So I would recommend from the committee that we would bring policy 155 to the board meeting next week to suspend it, and then as policy the committee may meet in January, work on a code of conduct and ethics for the board, and then bring that to the board as a draft.
So no, but let's suspend it. I mean, if you want to modify it, bring it up and modify it. But right now, I don't think you as a board member want individual employees of the district complaining to you about individual other employees of the district.
I think right now, after reflecting on everything, I would like to see it suspended for now, and then develop something else. And we would move within a month to do that.
So by suspending it, you're saying that the administration shouldn't say anything to the district? Because this is what says that the administration is going to say things to the district about what's transpiring in the district. You know what I mean? I mean, if you suspend it, you suspend the whole. So that, you know what I mean?
I think that this policy, though, won't move us forward, and I think by suspending communication is still going to happen. And there's plenty of other policies and handbooks that address that. So I think that we can make a movement to say that we recognize that this is, if we were to firm up a policy and we'd like to move to developing a different one.
Okay. I would somewhat agree with you, but as for suspending, I would disagree. And keep in mind that in a matter of maybe 30 different board members have reviewed this since the 90s when it was originally adopted. And it's worked extremely well in that period of time. Over the short last 2 years or 3 years, it may have not worked well. So the issue comes down to defining where it did work well, not abandoning the entire as a whole. So I would say you'd be better off bringing forward what you want to modify and go from there. But suspending right now, I don't know that there are other policies that speak to this one right here. I don't think there are. And that's the thing. We said in generalizations of policies that control how the staff and the admin and the board communicate. I don't think there are. So at that point, you're saying that it's okay for other staff members to complain about individual other employees.
I think we're all professionals, and I don't foresee that occurring.
Right. It's up to your committee whether what you decide to, and then at the board we can decide one way or the other. So.
Okay.
We're
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with Dawn on that, with people still being professional. Again, this is probably one of those policies that a lot of people didn't even know exist, and it didn't lead to people not speaking their mind. To me, it is very rigid, and I think it speaks to some of the problems that we have going on right now. I agree, not going for a long term without anything. You need something in place.
No, I agree with you 100% there. But again, if everybody moved in water because they love the school district, this has been in the school district for 30 years. Right? So, again, abandoning something in a whole because one area you may want to modify, you'd be better off modifying in one area. How long do you anticipate having nothing in place?
Well, I would add that a lot of districts don't have anything like this at all. And I focus what I love on districts that have scored higher than us. So I said, okay, well, I'm gonna model myself or things that we look at different schools. I'm going to look at the ones who have performed better than us. And the ones I looked at, I couldn't find things like this at all, policies like this at all. So I don't think suspending it for a month, I don't think the train's going to come off the tracks. I think we'll be fine. I think that we can add something back in that, like they're talking about, that'll address things a little more delicately maybe and leave open some channels of communication.
Right.
But I do feel that taking a step like this sends a strong message to the staff that, hey, we did hear you after we got the survey results, and we do want to address things like this that may be standing in the way of people communicating their concerns to us.
So as far as how long, going back to your question, I would see a draft of the code of conduct